Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry about that. So what happened was the stream that I had before it ended, and I ended that stream, and I think I started a new stream. I don't know what the fuck happened, but we're gonna keep it popping. So Maypac, I gotta get food. Sorry about that, guys. I mean, it is what it is. Life is fucked up like that sometimes. Yeah, I don't even know how I ended up with 2 likes. But we're in a new stream. The previous stream is ended. So if you guys can hop on this stream, because that stream just ended. I'm gonna wait for you guys. No, I'm not gonna wait. I'm just keep on talking. So, Maypac. Jackson Opal says, how do you think a Pacquiao Spence fight goes? Well, first Spence gotta get past Porter before we can talk about that. Errol Spence will let it get past Sean Porter, and that's not going to be an easy task, because Sean Porter is a guy who, you know, he brings the heat. He brings the heat. He's very intense. Not the most accurate guy in the world, but he's pretty intense. So, Errol Spence got to get past Sean Porter before I think about that hypothetically. Because it could be Pacquiao versus Porter. You know? Very easily could be Pacquiao versus Porter. But we got some good fights now in the division. We got some great fights, and that's one of the great things about it. I'm preparing food. That's why I'm cooking my own food right now. Yeah, and that's the great thing about these divisional matchups right now. They kind of like 50-50 fights. I can't really tell you what will happen. Sean Porter's a beast, and Errol Spence is a beast, and so when two beasts come together, you can't really say how you have Ramirez versus Hooker going. See, that's another good fight. Ramirez is a beast. Hooker is a beast. Maurice Hooker. I mean, a good-ass fight. So I'm not too sure who's going to win when those fights come together. You know what I'm saying? I got to really study both to tell you, and they're great fighters. So I don't know. You know, these are good matchups. Pacquiao versus Thurman proved to be a fight that was really 50-50. It could have gone either way. It literally ended up being a split decision, a win for Pacquiao. It was as close as you can get it. You know? So, I mean, that's the kind of fights. We're getting competitive fights. This is great for the division, you know? And Floyd, he's just sitting back like the king, you know, in retirement, waiting. He waiting for the winner of everybody, the king of the mountain, and then he gonna tackle the king of the mountain after. Maybe. It depends. You know, next year he's going to be 43. I'm going to fight that. So, you know, Keith Thurman lost to Pacquiao. And officially, at least, they may run back a Keith Thurman Pacquiao fight, or Pacquiao may face Errol Spence first and then run it back with Keith Thurman. It depends. Or Sean Porter, whoever it is. I think he's going to face either Keith Thurman. He's going to face either Sean Porter or Errol Spence next. Back with them. I don't think he may not run it back with Keith. But I see him doing that fight more a little later on in the year instead of at the beginning in January. I don't think he may not do the January fight that he usually does. As well as he may. But he's the dude now. He definitely do it at welterweight division. You know? Manny Pacquiao, baby. Living legend. That motherfucker can fight. So I think Floyd's doing the smart thing, and I don't know if Floyd would. So some of those exhibition fights and stuff, I think are kind of like Floyd just trying to stay in shape. I know this is mostly southpaws he's facing as well. I thought that was either it's coincidental or it's just something that he's actually kind of prepping for Pacquiao and his speed and all that. And gauging himself as well, I think. So I think that's a good ass fight. Don't forget to smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen, because it's a new feed, so smash the like button. put a little basil in my food. I get some thyme. Use a little oregano. Oregano. I gotta go outside and get some thyme. I use different types of thyme. We grow it outside. Spanish thyme, I got big leaf thyme, and I got, the medium leaf thyme, and then I got also what we call fit weed. I get that too. Put it all together. So it tastes good, season the food. You don't have to have meat. In fact, meat has to be seasoned to taste great, right? So what's the seasoning? It's mostly what? Plants, right? So I do a lot of foods. My protein is like legumes. So like right now I have lentils in there. And it's cheap. When you buy your own food and you make your own food, it's cheaper than buying out. So I always tell people, make your own, and it's healthier for you because and you will like the taste of it because you made it. You like your own food once you don't burn it. You like your own food, so you cook your own food for yourself. So you get a chef to cook it for you if you got money. And it tastes good. It don't have to be tasteless. I use carrot, beta carotene. I use carrots, cucumber. So I use, man. So I'm just using. I don't use a lot of breads. I use, Let's see Pac versus Terrence Crawford. Okay. You might see it. But I think he's going to face first the PBC fighters first. And if you want. Sorry about that, guys. My Wi-Fi just fell off. Now, you guys were saying Pac isn't beating Bud, but probably better than an arrow fight considering size. I'm going to tell you this. I can't say anymore. They've obviously kind of figured a game plan for Bud. And Bud is a hell of a fighter, too, as well as Errol, as well as Sean Porter, as well as Danny Garcia. They're all hell of fighters. That's what they do with Pac-Man Void. So, yeah, I still fancy their chances beating Pac-Man, but you just never know with Pacquiao. I was wrong a number of times. I thought Timothy Bradley would beat Pacquiao. Pacquiao beat Timothy Bradley twice, flush, clearly. So, I'm not going against Pac-Man just like that. Jeff Horn did something that was rare. He had home court advantage. That is, he was familiar with his own place. Pacquiao went to find him. Pacquiao's been fighting overseas for the longest while. He goes, finds people, and fights them. This motherfucker done some shit, man. He don't be fighting up in the Philippines. No, motherfucker. This man be coming to you. He be coming to you and taking them fights and beating your ass. So I'm just saying, you got to give Pacquiao a lot of props. Right? And at the age of 40, he's not one of them. Errol Spence ain't knocking shit out, first of all. He's not knocking out Pacquiao. Terrence Crawford ain't knocking out Pacquiao. They may beat him, but they ain't knocking him out. I'm pretty sure about that. Because Keith Thurman is the hardest puncher in the division. Maybe Danny Garcia is harder. Right? So, none of them motherfuckers knocking out Pacquiao. Now, the question will be, can they apply certain things to Pacquiao? Obviously, Keith Thurman had success when he was starting to use his weight and size and kind of bully him to the ropes. Also, box him and bully him. And we box him because you need to watch for the traps. I would say that Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, and Sean Porter, they're active, right? So that goes in their favor. They're obviously younger. We obviously see that Pacquiao, he starts to slow down when you really take it to him. He starts off very fast and he slows down. So it's all of that, okay? But I would say that I just don't count Pacquiao to nothing. Because that motherfucker, he's sick. And again, as much as you might hit him flush, he's moving, he's riding with those punches. So he sees the punch coming and he just rolls or rides himself. And he's so fucking quick that it doesn't really matter. He's quick. So he's quicker than Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford's slower than Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman's faster than Terrence Crawford. Errol Spence is slower than Keith Thurman. You gotta understand what I'm saying. Now Errol Spence is sharp like a motherfucker, and Terrence Crawford is not as sharp as Errol Spence. Errol Spence is huge and strong, and will use that against Pacquiao. But I just think that and Terrence Crawford he no slouch either. But I just think that as smart as those guys are, unless they come with their A game against Pacquiao, they ain't gonna just win, and that's gonna be a competitive. All those fights are gonna be competitive because Pacquiao got much more experience than all of them, and he knows how to use his style now with almost any styles. That's why it's very intriguing to see a Maypac2. Because Mayweather's going to be diminished in his athleticism and skill and style. How Mayweather would approach Pacquiao is the question. So it makes for a very interesting and closer fight than the first one, for sure. So that's why Maypac2 is going to be very intriguing. But Mayweather got the experience like Pac-Man. He got more experience than Pac-Man and being at the top tier level. So that's why that's a fair fight. Whereas, Pacquiao got more experience than all them other guys. Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, they all babies compared to him. So he might be able to maneuver in such a manner, just minor little movements, minor little timing changes, because Pacquiao got a style, he got signature moves, but it's just these minor little things. It's just like Keith Thurman said, he's more patient than I thought he was. He said he's more patient than I thought he was, and it's just these minor little things that boxers do that throw off another boxer. And Pacquiao's that kind of dude now. I told you he's boxing better. I think another guy, he realized that Pacquiao's boxing better than he ever boxed in his life. I think Pacquiao's the best Pacquiao he's ever been. He's like refined wine now. So it's not as easy to beat this motherfucker as you think. And that's why you mentioned Terrence Crawford and you mentioned Errol Spence. And they greener than Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was the guy that had the best resume in the welterweight division. Keith Thurman was the guy that was, unified world champion. Keith Thurman was the guy who beat Sean Porter and Danny Garcia. You can't sleep on fucking Keith Thurman. He was the dude, resume wise and otherwise. He's the dude. He basically Pacquiao beat, the best welterweight who just happened to be a little bit coming back from a 2-year layoff. But he was the best welterweight. That's like Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier. Muhammad Ali was coming off a 2-year layoff. But he was basically the best heavyweight out there, Joe Frazier. So Errol Spence beat Kell Brook. Awesome. Beat Mikey Garcia, not necessarily, experienced welterweight, but nonetheless he beat a smaller guy who's supposed to be quicker than him. So, he got the experience of fighting a smaller guy. But Pacquiao's much faster and much quicker than Mikey Garcia. It'd be great for Errol Spence, but he still got, he had Mikey Garcia to kind of train against Manny Pacquiao. Terrence Crawford, he had Yuriorkis Gamboa. So those two guys kind of have some experience dealing with smaller, faster, quicker guys, right? But remember, Pacquiao's southpaw and he quick, and I know Terrence Crawford is a switch hitter and all of that shit, but his switching to southpaw ain't gonna help him. Because Pacquiao is a southpaw. So Pacquiao deals with southpaws. Pacquiao ain't got a problem dealing with a southpaw, right? So I'm just saying, when you think about Pacquiao, he's in a different category to those guys. Those guys are good. I would have loved that he didn't fight those guys because I wanted those guys to have their own legacy. Like, when people talking about Floyd facing Keith Thurman, I was like, Floyd got too much experience for Keith Thurman. He gonna beat Keith Thurman. Floyd was leaving those youngsters to their own legacy to do what they wanted to do. Those guys, and kind of mess up their legacy. I know those guys wanted that paycheck though. But it is what it is. Pacquiao's starting to touch them now. So if Pacquiao beats all them motherfuckers, don't be surprised because he got that experience. He been in there with everybody. He been in with better opposition than Errol Spence. He been in with Floyd. He's been with better. Keith Thurman, we could argue, is better than Sean Porter. So if he would have faced Sean Porter, it's a different style and everything, but nonetheless, if he faced Sean Porter and beat him, he shouldn't be surprised because he beat Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? So Keith Thurman beat Danny Garcia, so it wouldn't be surprising if he beat Danny Garcia. You know what I'm saying? There's different game plans. When you have a game plan for a guy, pull it off, you probably could beat that guy. I'm not saying that Pacquiao can beat Terrence Crawford or he can beat Errol Spence or he can beat Sean Porter, but fuck, I know it's gonna be competitive. I know those two fighters. I know they ain't stopping him. That's what I'm trying to say. And that alone tells me how good he is, and also tells me that Manny Pacquiao is a dude who you cannot sleep on. You can't sleep on. Floyd didn't sleep on Pacquiao. That's how he was able to beat him so easy. But he couldn't sleep on him. All right, his father was saying, "You fighting scared, Floyd?" And Floyd's like, "Look, man, you don't know what I'm seeing inside that ring. Okay, that motherfucker is tricky." So he was absolutely careful. How Errol Spence fought Mikey Garcia is how Errol Spence would like to fight Manny Pacquiao, and some. He gonna have to be ultra careful and pivoting like a motherfucker. I don't know if Terrence Crawford can handle that. I know Terrence Crawford switch hits and all of that stuff. He gonna get tagged up. Terrence gonna get tagged up. Pacquiao gonna hit him, right? Errol Spence probably the only guy I think who could make it a clean sweep, a clean fight, and not even have Pacquiao touch him if he knows what he's doing. You know, because he got that pivot work down packed. And even Mikey touched Errol Spence. So I think Pacquiao definitely not going to touch his ass. You know, because he touched Floyd's ass. I'm saying he touched Errol Spence's ass too. And you never know. He might get Errol in trouble as well. Seth Pacquiao, man. Carol Brook got Errol in trouble. And Carol Brook slower than Pacquiao. You tell me Pacquiao ain't going to get Errol in trouble? Errol going to be in trouble. All that motherfuckers going to be in trouble. Terrence Crawford going to be in trouble. They're strong, you know, but they're going to be in trouble with Pacquiao. He going to touch them. That's what I'm trying to say. So what they have to do is they got to be prepared for when Pacquiao touches them. Because everybody got touched by Pacquiao. Every fucking person. Every person Pacquiao's face, he's touched. In his entire career. He's hurt them. So if Pacquiao can do that shit, you got to be ready for that motherfucker. I don't care what you say. Man down and all that shit. Fuck that. You make sure you careful enough and you watching that motherfucker like a hawk. I would have loved to see Pacquiao versus Aaron Pryor. I would have loved to see that fight. I don't know who would win, but I would have loved to see that fight. Aaron Pryor was a beast. Pacquiao was a beast. Both of them could fight like shit. They could fight like crazy. I would have loved to see that fight. That's the fight for Pacquiao. That would have been one of the greatest fights ever in the history of fucking boxing. And this Pacquiao versus Aaron Pryor? Shit. That would have been interesting. Anyways, let me see what they say there. Unapologetic Aboriginal says, his foot. Oh, come on, guys. It's starting and stopping now. Huh? Yeah. So, did I put that shit on the fire? Oh, shit. I didn't put the food on the fire. So, Keith's a bad motherfucker, man. Don't ever underestimate Keith Urban. You guys are underestimating. I don't know why my internet is dropping and starting now. But it's dropping and starting. Put the food on the fire. I still need to go get some time. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, that Maypac2, it could happen. I mean, some people don't want to see Floyd come back because they feel he got beat. I mean, if the man want to come back, he come back. If he don't want to come back, he don't come back. It don't mean nothing to me. It's neither here nor there. You know? I think that Mayweather's the best ever. If he gets beat by Pacquiao, will he be the best ever? No, but it doesn't mean that he's not a great fighter. No, the best ever is not based really on, it's not really based on just winning and being undefeated. I know that, but still, if Pacquiao beats him, it will show that Pacquiao could beat Floyd Mayweather, which means you can't say that Floyd Mayweather is hands down better than Pacquiao, which means you can't say that he's hands down better than everybody else. But if he beats Pacquiao the second time, it just solidifies that he was better than Pacquiao. And it would also show that it solidifies that he is better than everyone else as a boxer. So it is somewhat important for him to beat Pacquiao if he faces him the second time. Not that he cares. If he's getting big amounts of money, why not? You know, that's how I look at it too. If I'm getting paid to beat this guy, why not? Okay, so I wanted to show you something else. I'm going to show you something else right now. So let me put this camera down And the last thing I have to talk to you guys about is Diego Corrales. And I want to talk to you guys about Diego Corrales for a reason. I want to talk to you about him because he's a hell of a boxer. So, before I do so, let me go outside and get some stuff. If you guys, I think you guys can come with me. Maybe the internet works all the way around. Maybe it doesn't. It was fluctuating a bit on my phone. I don't know if it's my phone or the internet doing that. But I was losing signal. I gotta go get some seasoning, so I'm going outside. I'm gonna take this phone with me too. This phone should be the stuff with Diego Corrales. This phone right here. Alright. So let's go outside. Oh man, it's really sunny out there, and I'm not quite sure how the plants are doing. It did rain this morning. Oh shit, this plant it's really droopy. This plant is suffering. So let's take care of that plant. Gonna have to give this plant some water. These plants, holy crap, this plant fell down. That's how bad it was. Heat knocked his ass down. Alright, so even though the plants, let's see, this is time. This took some time. Even though the plants, I got moringa trees. Oh wow, this plant fell down too. Well, this plant's broken off. Oh wow. There's some fitweed here. Oh, they cut the fitweed. Damn it. There's odds and ends of the fitweed. And this is some more thyme here. Oh, the thyme tree has come back. That's very good. Very good. Pick up some thyme there. And this is the big leaf thyme. Big leaf thyme. That's it. I do have to clean up certain things. It's a beautiful sunny day. Beautiful sunny day in the Caribbean. Oh, this plant though, be drooping. That one's drooping as well. I got some flowers and stuff. This is my neighborhood, this is where I live. You guys get to see all that. I just toss all this stuff into this pot here. Should we put this here? That's basically that. Sweep up outside, and I gotta wet those plants, and then I have things to do. Alright, so anyway, let's talk about Diego Corrales. I wanted to talk to you guys about that. So I'm going inside here. I'm going to talk a little bit about Diego Corrales. My face is dry. We need to drink some water. I didn't do any abs. I didn't do any exercise today. I didn't do nothing yet. I had to do some myself in shape. Oh, I forgot to put the carrots in there. Oh, hopefully this can stay. Yeah, so talk a little bit about Diego Corrales. So Diego Corrales, I listen to a lot of people talk about Diego Corrales, and honestly, a lot of people say, well, his career was cut short too fast. So we don't know if he'll go into the Boxing Hall of Fame. I thought about that. And decided to see some of the people who ended up in the Boxing Hall of Fame. And I'm talking about the International Boxing Hall of Fame, or the World Boxing Hall of Fame. Okay? Either one. By the way, smash that like button. And remember, you can subscribe to my channel. If you like what you see, you can donate to my channel. I'll have to give you the link. I eat a protein-rich diet mostly. I don't really use a lot of sugar. I don't really use a lot of fruits either. Coconut powder. Here's a coconut powder with my lentils. It's lentils I'm cooking. Some rice. I cook them both together in the same pot. Try to use less rice, more protein. Because I drink a lot of water, I use a probiotic. This is a probiotic as well as digestive enzyme blend. My immune booster, Supreme Immune Booster. It's a mushroom. You guys eat mushrooms, that's a good thing too. Boost your immune system. Protect you. Use selenium. Selenium is used for everything in your body. We underuse selenium in our body, so the average person uses 100 milligrams a day, but you really need to use 300 milligrams a day. Right? If you got cancer, if you got diabetes, whatever, selenium, it's a cofactor for enzymes and hormones and shit like that. And it also has vitamins with it. Vitamin A, C, 120 milligrams of vitamin C, 2,500 IUs of vitamin A, D3, 200 IUs, vitamin E. Of course, I live in the tropics, so as you can see, I'm pigmented. I have nice melanin and shit. My skin's a little bit bumpy and sort of, if you look at it, it's a little bit I have a little bit of inflammation, not inflammation, but it's swollen a bit. And that's because I have a little problem with my body still, my lymphatics and shit. I know it. My eyes are white, so that's good. So that's what I use. I also use sometimes I use limonene as a supplement, vitamin C tablets or a multivitamin, and something called saw palmetto. Most men will end up with prostate cancer if they don't take care of their prostates, and this helps you. Use one a day. Right? So my family has a history of heart disease, diabetes, cancer, prostate cancer, particularly for men. And so I have to be careful. Hypertension. I have to be careful with that with my body so I can last a little longer than my predecessors. Yeah. So at 44, I'm not doing too bad. But a lot of people are dying of embolisms. I'll tell you why they die of embolisms. I'm gonna be real with you guys. A lot of these guys watching too much fucking porn. And when you have basically a spike in your heart rate and all that shit, your blood vessels are taking a lot of pressure. And something could swell, rupture eventually, and you can die. Okay? So a lot of people they have high stress lives. If you got a high stress life and you might look cool on the outside, but on the inside, your mind's going like this. Whee! It's spiking all the time. Not good. Especially not getting enough rest. That's the other thing. A lot of people are busy and they're not getting enough sleep, not enough rest to their bodies. Or they're not eating at the right times. I'm guilty of that too. Right? Now, your body's very flexible when you're younger. As you get older, it gets less and less flexible. So you gotta do the right things when you get older. You hear Pacquiao talking about that too. All right, let's talk about Diego Corrales. So the argument is that Diego Corrales, his career was too short to be assessed as a boxing Hall of Famer. So like I said before, what I decided to do, I'm cutting a cucumber. You guys might want to see this or not. I don't care. I'm not the greatest cook in the world, but if you guys want to see what I'm doing, you can. So here is a cucumber. And I was cutting it, slicing it up into pieces. That's all I was doing. So that's what I'm doing while I'm talking to you guys. I'm doing things, right? Okay, so Diego Corrales They said, his career was cut too short, too soon, so that they can't assess him for the Boxing Hall of Fame. I'm going to argue that Diego Corrales beat every top guy in the super featherweight division and the lightweight division. I think that merits him going into one of those Boxing Hall of Fames, either the World Boxing Hall of Fame or the International Boxing Hall of Fame in Minnesota. And he's been dead now for over 15 years. So they should induct him into one of those Boxing Hall of Fame. I'm going to explain to you why. Let's start off with a guy that's in the World Boxing Hall of Fame, Marty Servo. Okay? Marty Servo. Okay, I have him right here. Let me blow this up. For Marty Servo, he fought Sugar Ray Robinson twice. He had a close split decision with him the second time. The first time he lost a unanimous decision, but both fights were close. He won the welterweight championship of the world by knocking out Freddie Cochran, who had beaten Fritzy Zivik. And Fritzy Zivik is a fucking legend. No doubt about it. That motherfucker is a legend in the sport of boxing. And one of the things Fritzy Zivik did was he was able to beat, he was the last guy to beat Henry Armstrong and make him lose his welterweight championship belt with Fritzy Zivik. He broke his long winning welterweight championship streak. But Fritzy Zivik is a bad motherfucker. Unfortunately, for Fritzy Zivik, his best years were from 1931 to about 1942. He went on to fight until 1949, and he did like Roy Jones Jr. He was getting his ass beat. His best years were 1931 to 1942. Because of his high activity rate and how he used to box. 10 years were based. He started at 18. When he was 30, he was done already. A shell of himself. But he was still fighting first, but again, the ass beat. And then everybody was beating him. Alright, so anyway. His career ended when he was now. Freddie Cochran had beat Fritzy Zivik just around about the time when he was like at the end of his career. Fritzy Zivik fought every motherfucker from lightweight to welterweight, and even above welterweight to middleweight, because he did fight the great Billy Conn, who was a light heavyweight champion that was like nobody's business. Before Billy Conn was light heavyweight champion, he was fighting at middleweight, and he fought him. Billy Conn outweighed his ass by plenty. And that was Fritzy Zivik for your ass. Freddie Cochran. He went on to take on Rocky Graciano. And Rocky Graciano messed up his ass. Some people argue that because he didn't want no piece of Sugar Ray Robinson, he retired from boxing. Yeah. I was on a motherfucking high. Became welterweight champion. Well, I'm done. The fight he had with Rocky Graciano was not a title fight. It was not a it wasn't a fight for records. It's supposed to be an exhibition. Rocky Garcia messed his ass up. Knocked him out of the ring, all kinds of shit. Rocky Garcia was a middleweight. He was a welterweight. What are you doing fucking around with a middleweight? That's what boxing can do to you. It can wreck your career. And he never boxed again. Marty Servo beat guys like this. So he faced Sugar Ray Robinson. And he beat Freddie Cochran. Other than that, and he died of cancer in 1969. Other than that, what else did Marty Servo do? I'm gonna tell you. Come on, man. Actually, it was a non-title fight. Rocky Graciano was 152. Marty Servo was 144 and a half. So he outweighed him by about 8 pounds. Okay? And Servo was knocked down in the second round 3 times. He was knocked out of the ring and all that. Alright. He faced Sugar Ray Robinson 2 times. And that's it. Okay? That's it. That was the defining moments of his career. There no other great fighters, nobody else. Started off at lightweight. The crowning achievement in his career was. Now here's the info. Marco is in the World Boxing Hall of Fame. He's the World Boxing Hall of Fame inductee. He's in the World Boxing Hall of Fame. Watch. See? Marty Servo. Shrink it down a little bit. Alright? It's in the World Boxing Hall of Fame. But they say Diego Corrales, who did a hell of a lot more than Marty Servo, he can't even get into the World Boxing Hall of Fame or International Boxing Hall of Fame. Why? Now, Marty Servo was inducted into the World Boxing Hall of Fame in 1989. Many years after he had fought, right? He was not a first ballot inducted. Nonetheless, the point is, actually he was. The World Boxing Hall of Fame started, I think, in 1989 anyway. But my point is this. My point is this. That he gets into the World Boxing Hall of Fame, but Diego Corrales doesn't. Let me show you Diego Corrales' record. So Diego Corrales, this motherfucker. This motherfucker started off he faced Roberto Garcia or Robert Garcia, the trainer of a shit ton load of other good fights over time. Roberto Garcia was undefeated. Roberto Garcia came off of a great win. He won the title against Harold Wallen. Okay? So when Diego Corrales faced Roberto Garcia, he was on a high. He stopped Roberto Garcia in the 7th round. Knocked him down most of the times. thoroughly kicked his ass. Against John Brown. Then unified with the IBA Super Featherweight Champion, Derek Gainer. Derek Gainer was a friend of Roy Jones Jr. Then went on to defend those two titles against Freddie. He knocked them both out before he faced Floyd Mayweather Jr. Motherfucking Floyd, who stopped him in the 10th round. He didn't go on after that, champion, to face Joel Casamayor. And that fight was stopped because Diego Corrales had a cut in his mouth. To Floyd. He then went on to face. He then faced Jose Luis Castillo, and he was losing that fight. It was for unification, second unification. This time, the WBC and the WBO. And he was losing that fight to Jose Luis Castillo was beating his ass. And then he knocked Castillo out in the 10th round. They rematched and Castillo beat him. Then went on to face Joel Casamayor at lightweight. And Joel Casamayor won a close split decision over him. He moved up to welterweight. For the first time faced the welterweight, a real welterweight, Joshua Clottey. Went into 10 rounds, but Clottey knocked him down rounds 9 and 10. Alright? That was Diego Corrales' career. Every top super featherweight and every single one. Faced Joel Casimiro, Acelino Freitas, Jose Luis Castillo, Floyd Mayweather, and he faced Derek Gainer and John Brown. Now with that, alone is for less than what Diego Corrales did. I'm going to show you another fighter. This time, this fighter also had his career stopped because of an accident and his death. Alright? And that fighter I'm talking about. Now, Diego Corrales, by the way, at the time when he died, he had 45 fights. He had 40 wins, 33 by knockout, 5 losses, 3 by knockout. Okay? Now, the guy I want to talk about is one that they tout that should be always in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. I'm talking about Salvador Sanchez. All right? Salvador Sanchez had 46 fights. He had 44 wins, 32 by knockout, 1 loss, and 1 draw. Now, here's the thing, though. His big achievement was beating Azuma Nelson early in his career. He also beat Wilfredo Gomez, who was a great fighter, moved up from super bantamweight to featherweight. Okay, he beat him. And then he also beat Danny Lopez and Juan Laporte. He also beat top contender Ruben Castillo. That's it. Okay? Now, he also beat Felix Trinidad's father, if you want to talk about that. But the point is, he also had an undefeated winning streak of, I think, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 championship fights. And he was undefeated as a world champion. But he only did it in one fucking weight class. He did it at featherweight. Alright? He never went up to super featherweight, none of that shit. Diego Corrales beat all the world champions in 2 weight classes. Super featherweight, lightweight. Yes, he got beaten by those guys too. And those guys were bad motherfuckers. Okay? The guys that Salvador Sanchez beat, either smaller than him, Wilfredo Gomez, or guys who were top contenders, maybe became world champions, but they weren't long reigning world champions. You know, Joe Casimiro was a long reigning world champion and 2-time world champion. Acelino Freitas was a 2-divisional 2-time world champion. Fucking Jose Luis Castillo was a 3-time world champion at lightweight. Floyd fucking Mayweather, we don't need to talk about that. TBE, all right? Angel Manfredi was the top contender, of course. Then you had Roberto Garcia, and then you had Derek Gainer, two-time world champion Derek Gainer. Okay, one weight class. And then you had, he was mostly featherweight though. And then you had, as I said before, Roberto Garcia. So I mean, when you look at Diego Corrales' career, that's Hall of Fame material. Yet people talk about Salvador Sanchez as the best Mexican fighter ever. You know, and they talk about the fact that he immediately went into the International Boxing Hall of Fame on his after the required time. He immediately went into it. Okay, and I'm just saying, why not Diego Corrales? I think Diego Corrales could go into either the International Boxing Hall of Fame or the World Boxing Hall of Fame, because, and let me just show you that he went into it. This here is Salvador Sanchez. This thing's not zooming in properly or whatever. It's not zooming, but you can see the icon, right? I don't know why that's happening. Anywho, yeah, he went into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. So these guys are going to the International Boxing Hall of Fame, or they're going into the World Boxing Hall of Fame, and Diego Corrales doesn't because you say his career was too short. What the fuck does that mean? He had the same amount of fights as Salvador Sanchez, right? He did a lot more than Salvador Sanchez, weight class wise. Okay, championship wise. I mean, you look at, he did better than Marty Servo. He did a lot more than Marty Servo did. But yet these guys are in the Boxing Hall of Fame, and Diego Corrales, oh, he didn't do enough to be in the Boxing Hall of Fame. What the fuck does that mean? Plus, he gave people great fights. So what are you talking about? So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Glad that I could have talked to you guys for about 2 hours. Talking straight boxing. Again, always straight boxing. And I'm just saying that sometimes I feel fighters don't get the credit that they deserve. People forget what they were about. You go and watch Diego Corrales' fights. Please do. You can also watch some of the fights of Salvador Sanchez. And you get 1 or 2 fights of Marty Servo. I don't know if you actually get that, but you could try and look for it. All right, guys. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Let me see what you guys are saying in the comment section before I get out of here. Tommy Temper, what time will you finish this live? I'm about to finish it right now, Tommy Temper. Right now. Jackson the Hopeful says Thurman had Joe Joyce hand speed against Pac-Man. I don't know what you're talking about. Unapologetically Aboriginal. Top fighters usually don't stop other top fighters. That's correct. That is very correct. Yeah, so I'm gonna stop this feed right now, guys. You guys have a good one. Tommy Temper, man. We need to hook up, so I'm gonna try and hook up with you as soon as possible. Peace to you guys. I'm gone. Later, dudes.